YouTube. I got a request from a former guard to talk about guards, different types. I actually grew up with this guy. He became a guard at South Central Correctional Center in Missouri. But I also got a question from Quora. Somebody on Quora asked me, is it worth becoming a guard? If you like low pay, you like, it seemed like everybody being against you as you try to work your way through the ranks, then go ahead, go for it. You do get medical, all this and that, but what does that mean? You're still getting low pay. I think in Missouri it's like $30,000, maybe a little bit more. Not enough, if you ask me. That's just my personal opinion. I would never become a correctional officer myself, even if I didn't have a felony. But let's get into the different types of guards. You have those that are cool. That's what people call cool. They don't want to write you up for petty stuff, and you usually won't. You really have to be on their bad side for them to write you up. They let you get away with small things. Part of it because they don't want to do the paperwork. Part of it because they think the write-ups, some of these write-ups are BS, I like them because you can get away with small things. Then you have the guards that go by the book. Some people call them jerks or assholes, RoboCops. Well, the thing about that is they come to work the same way every day. They don't change. So you know what to expect from them. Stay out of their way, Then you have those correctional officers who harass people. Their sole job is to make your life a living hell. And sometimes it's against everybody, and sometimes, they're not biased, they'll anybody. Sometimes they have certain people they pick out. And one story comes to mind is about C.O. Roberts. Now, most people would say he was a cool guard. I mean, he kind of went by the book, but he was also lenient, He'd give you a warning on a lot of things. But he had it out for this one prisoner. I don't know if this because the guy did something to him, caused some type of problems, or if he was black. I don't know the reason. All I know was he shook this guy's cell down all the time. He patted him down all the time. He was always trying to find something to get him on. And then one day, this guy takes a crock pot. We was allowed to buy these little crock pots at one time. Puts it in a laundry bag. And when they called movement and everybody's going outside, this guard was standing a little ways outside the housing unit. Comes up behind him, hits him in the back of the head, swings that bag and hits him in the back of the head with that crock pot, knocks a patch out of the back of his head. What amazed me was the guard gets up and starts throwing hands with him. And does so until all these other guards run down there and break it up. Well, they made him go home. Put the one guy in the hole. The guard they made go home. But he came back the next day, and it seems like he was happy. I don't know if he was happy because he got that off his chest, the issue was resolved, or if it was because the guy was in the hole. I don't know. But he was happy, and he was like that for several days. You could almost get away with anything with him. I mean, that's how happy he was. He didn't care, and he's happy. It's kind of odd. Then you have those who are on power trips, and it can be man or woman, but I'm going to say that in most cases that I've seen, it's been women. And I think it's because they feel like they have control over a guy that's a prisoner. They might not have it at home. Maybe they don't like their life at home. Maybe they have a miserable life. I don't know. But they'll come to work and they're on a power trip. And it's usually against everybody. And especially if they make rank, if they make sergeant or something, then it's all bad. The higher up they go, the more influence they get, the higher rank they get, the worse it gets. And this usually makes it bad on their fellow officers too. But by far the worst guards are the ones that will beat prisoners, It happened a lot when I was at the walls. And I even saw it happen once at Potosi through a camera. I was watching this. They had this camera on this guy that was strapped to a chair, and 2 guards were beating him. And I could see it in the monitor that was inside the bubble. And I was told to avert my eyes. I was told to leave because I brought a food cart over there. This was in the single man cell hole. And I told him when I left, I said, I'll leave, but I've done seen it. So, But behind at the walls, they threatened to take you to 5C. It happened to me once too when I was smart. I was in the chow hall. There's a sign that says no hats allowed. And I told this guard, I pointed out the sign to him. I said, you're wearing a hat. He threatened to take me to 5C, which at the time I didn't know what that meant. But after he leaves, these other guys at the table explained to me 5C is a third section of the hole. You had 5A, 5B, and this was 5C. Some people call it basement. They take you down there. There's no bunks in there, just concrete. They cuff you, hands and feet, throw a phone book across you, and beat you with these. They had billy clubs and these big mag lights back then, and they beat you with them. Some people say that doesn't happen. It does happen, and it's happening now. There's people telling stories about guards in Florida and other places where they're beaten. These guys have no reason to lie. But there was one there named Lieutenant Odding. And Lieutenant Odding would fight guards and prisoners, and when I was there, I was told he never lost a fight. I was only there 5 years, thank God. But he came to my cell once, and I just got back from chow, and he asked me, He comes, he has the door pop. He comes in. He said, "You want to cuss me?" He takes his badge off and sits it on this shelf. He says, "All right, I won't write you up. You won't write me up. Let's see who wins." I said, "I don't know what you're even talking about." He said, "Coming back from chow, you cussed me as you're coming up the steps." And I said, "No, it was me and the guy I was with, the guy I hang out with. We was giving each other shit. It wasn't directed at you." So he looks at me a minute and he says, "Are you scared of me?" I said, "No." I said, "The stuff I gotta deal with every day, why would I be scared of you?" He says, "Do you think you can whoop me?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "I heard you're pretty good with your hands." He said, "Well, next time you're feeling froggy, don't cuss me. Just jump." He said, "I'll be ready for you." So after he leaves, my neighbor tells me, the front of this cell was open as all bars, so you could hear conversations. So he said, "If you'd fought him, you wouldn't have won." And I said, "Well, that may be true, but what if I had have won? He would have wrote me up." He goes, "No, he wouldn't have." I said, "How you know?" He goes, "Well, he's never lost." I said, "That's the whole point. He's never lost, so he's not written nobody up. But the first time he does lose, how we know he ain't gonna write somebody up?" And that was my whole thing. You get assault on an officer. I seriously doubt if I could have whooped him. I'm just being honest here. Just imagine, this is what the guy looked like. He was big, walked like John Wayne, kind of big like John Wayne, but he had a face of Tom Selleck, kind of mustache and hair and everything. Kind of reminds you of 70s porn or something. But, that mustache thing. But that's what he would do. And years later, when I was being transferred from Bowling Green to Licking, South Central Correctional Center, we had to stop in Jeff City. We changed buses. That's where buses are changed. So I was in Bowling Green. I get to Jeff City. I switched the bus to the one going to, excuse me, Licking. And I saw him there, and he didn't look the same. He's like this old man, and shriveled up. He wasn't like the guy I remember, And he says, "Do I know you?" We're having to take a bathroom break, whatever we had to do. You should use the bathroom if you're there, because it's gonna be a long trip. I said, "Yeah, you probably do." I said, "I was inside for a while." Saying that you're inside means you was at the walls for a while. He goes, "Oh yeah." And I thought about bringing that up, but I didn't. But anyway, that's what I got for you today. Different types of guards, the ones you have to deal with. Hopefully you never go to prison, but this is what you're going to deal with. You'll get to know them once you get there. The ones that are going to cause you problems, or maybe one that you don't even expect it. All of a sudden it has a thing for you. So the best thing is just not go to prison. Stay out of trouble. You don't have to deal with none of that. Stay free. All right, that's all I got for you today. Thank you for watching. And hit that like if you like it. Share it.